Welcome to episode 2 of Emore's Recital. I'm William Wadaski Jr. and I do poetry and shit. Yeah. So, I guess start off with the first poem, which I wrote a few days after my birthday. On the 5th of September. The name of the poem is I Like Bubbles. It's based off of a painting that I did, which essentially was a really stern-looking version of myself, with a huge fro and a bubble wand making a barrage of different colors of bubbles. I like bubbles. Hot stream, room-filled heat and water vapors lift thy spirits. I had a long thought and was so lost in translation that I was in this bubbly world of my own. Like, my spirit was in the vapors of the air, singing silently in the confined world of the bubble bath. Conversations with my rubber ducky lasted for hours. Prune skin and bubble mustache and spirits. I am young to the moment, lost to the moment, growing in the moment. See, I like to play with myself in the bath to see how far I can get it up. As I splash waters to the floor and past these bubbly waves I produce, I love me some bubbly time. Bubbly time is my time to shine. Bubbly shines, refracts on the image of my imagination. My mind gains patience as I sit in these murky waters, green tea colored, because let's face it, I would bathe in tea. Drink tea, eat green tea cake by candlelight and open sunrise just to start my day. 'Cause I love me some bubbly time, nigga. 'Cause my time is precious, so mine is limited. And I would give that time to you if it would help you live as well as I do. So what can I do to help you? I mean, ultimately, this poem is about respecting thyself. I mean, no matter how hard life is, no matter how crazy it gets, always do something for you. Like, when it makes you smile ridiculously, it doesn't have to be anyone there. It can just be completely by yourself. Do that. Do that for you. And 9 times out of 10, people neglect to do things like that because they feel like they aren't on that standard, or they just don't feel comfortable. And, the idea of an adult having a bubble bath is like, you do that for yourself. It's like nostalgia plus the intimate feeling of just being able to do you at any given time. At the same time I was writing that poem, I was also writing this one. It's called Letter of the Forsaken. And there was a particular line from J. Cole's Born Sinner album that it made me feel some type of way. So I guess I kind of just expanded on that. Letters of the Forsaken. When a real nigga holds you down, you're supposed to drown. J. Cole. So I did. I, fed up with the lies and the passive nature of this kindred spirit, I could take no more. Unable to walk away or turn off my feels, I took her to our favorite spot where we would go swimming. The backyard of a man that she's been fucking, my older friend, and she cried as I dragged her by her hair, speaking harsh truths to the reality that she was an abomination to everything I stood for and hoped to protect. And when I laid my head down, she crept out, dress worn, hair on, makeup on. Out the door she stepped, as if I wouldn't notice. But I followed her everywhere, in my mind as if I was awake. I wouldn't notice the sad truth. We've always been together. Always. Before it was just me, and as I witnessed the plowing of the one person I loved the most, the face of pain, the bleeding rectum, I lost my stomach. I lost my faith, my dignity. For this man was a man even when I was still a little boy. And this boy loved this man in a way that little boys are taught not to love man. And this man did things to the little boy that would only be scribed by adults as acts of love. And I felt the pain of love. And that's when this little boy met her. She who had saved I from the shame of me. She had promised to protect me all those years ago. And I had feigned ignorance as my dreams of her taking place of me, and I liked it. I am ashamed. I am sorry she spoke to me in the reflection of the waves, and makeup ran down my face. I pleaded for her forgiveness for all those years past. So I leave this letter with a bag of my belongings and her hair. May our headstone read, "We are sorry. To the man who loved me, death is too pleasant for you." With death, anyone. So this poem is it's actually pretty difficult to read because I do a lot of imagery, or at least with myself. Like when I'm writing a poem, I completely map out an entire story, almost like it's a short film of sorts. And everything that's ever mentioned in any of my poems, it's always like the key things that stand out to me. It's always emotionally invoking. But this poem is about an individual who is bipolar, schizophrenic, and has multiple personality disorder, who just happens to be transgendered, and blacks out those memories of being transgendered. And then comes to one day and realizes all the issues going on in their lives, and they can't cope. So, suicide is a very serious thing to me. It's one of those type of messages. Like anyone could be suicidal. Anyone can get to that state. What happens when they get there, that's entirely up for debate. I wish I could recite poetry better. Which leads me to my next poem. Next and last. This one is, I wish I could recite poetry. I think too much. I think so much, in fact, that I've learned how to alter my thought process. Sometimes I become dyslexic in a way, and I can't recall letters before me. Hell, I have the hardest time. I had to look up the word dyslexic in order to spell it. Thank you, spell check. Vertigo, where my perception slants and it seems like the world is swirling with delight. Learning to smell colors and think not of words, but impossible imagery, sound, taste, touch, everything that existence has to offer. It's not that I can't remember. It's just, my mind distorts time and I write rhymes in repetition to count the intervals of existence, and I've grown accustomed to this never-ending developmental pattern where my soul is so awake as if time seems to slow to a standstill. As my memories, I relive them as they were. I've grown so bored of words that I began to draw. The lines carry weight of my thoughts, the structure of my feelings, and with the state of being a level of perfection. The overall image always comes with a coherent story of this time or that time. During the passing of this poem, I thought about all the different ways I could beat Super Mario Brothers in under 20 minutes, 7 different possible dinners I can make with potato, spinach, steak, and shrimp, a friend of mine who can't stand fish, and My mom who can't do without steak. And the next poem I should follow up with. And I'm thinking love. Because that's what this is. Some people are critical thinkers, fast to the feet of thought and slow to the extension of action, but I, for one, am tired all the time. So I keep myself entertained while I rest. I memorize my dreams in a way that I can't do with reality while I'm awake, but it feels the same as when I meditate. I lied. This is not the last poem. This is the second to last one. You guys get bonus. Yeah. So I wish I could recite poetry is literally me saying I wish I could recite poetry. Although it looks like I'm reciting some shit, this is all written down and I'm kind of just reading it off screen. So hence all the brief little pauses where it seems like I'm fucking up. I'm actually fucking up. I'm gonna let you know I'm fucking up. But I kind of just incorporated that into the poem as an anticipation of me fucking up. It's really weird. But I do think too much. And it has gotten me into some really interesting situations. But it's been a blessing towards the idea of learning philosophy and, just my pursuit of the arts in general. It's allowed me to do things that I didn't think was possible. To rewrite standards almost. Good times. So, the last poem, which I wish I could recite poetry leads into, is Love, Fear, the Fact. I love that facts are facts because facts can't be expressed with words, only experience. When I say I love you, it's because I'm willing to do for you in a way that I have not done for myself or anyone else previously. After the fact, I can't say that would ever be true because if I did it for you, why the fuck wouldn't I do it for me and for everyone else? Love forces growth, but not reformation. It allows us to expand and accept, but not necessarily to do better. Pain, regret, and fear of repetition forces us to reform, but not to accept. I remember humanity through the memories of others and carry that baggage that my grandparents had. They did not speak of the harsh realities. I read it from their face, their time period, their race. History took place, and I seen the aftermath of this conflict and the inconsistencies of this place. I grew confused. It's love that makes us right. It's love that makes us fight and grow and accept and fear and makes us focus and makes us strong and decent. Love is the future constant. Fear is the past regret. But the only fact is, we're here and now. And the rest of it is just words. I do a lot of reflecting. And mainly it's self-reflecting because, I always feel the need to get better because I never feel like I'm on point. Like I'm never where I need to be when I need to be there. And reflecting allows me to make better judgments. And it's a strange phenomenon because in all actuality, knowledge has no physical manifestation. Like when we say a person's smart, that doesn't actually mean they're smart. There's no like, hey, they're so smart they've made a ball from thin air. No, that doesn't happen. There's no certificate that just pops up. You're smart. You're brilliant. Yay! No, none of that.